Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers and subscribers, at the channel we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because it saves lives. That is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives on this channel. We at this channel aid criminals, their financiers, their supporters, enablers, and the likes with a passion, and we do not want them over here. Yes, let us repeat ourselves. We do not want any criminal supporters over here. Please, we do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes, or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you, the criminal supporters, enablers, financiers, and all the likes, to go to prison or madness. Let me repeat myself. We at the Jamaica Young Police channel, we do not want the criminal supporters and their circle over here. We want you to go to prison or madden. Moving on to our video. Yeah, so we continue the journey. This is part 2 of the top tier Klansman police officers, Renita Adams and Arabangas daily. As you don't know, Arabangas daily is the police officer who had provided black man with the name of the witnesses who had witnessed the murder of Douglas Chambers, and he had provided the information to black man. Yes, Arabangas has. There's no guess or guessing. It's now allegation. It's factual, based on evidence received and information from reputable sources, from special branch operative who were in the police force. And these people, surprisingly, were members who support the PNP LGBTQ plus party. Whatever, people have been waking up now and their conscience squeezing them, so some of them are talking up, and we applaud them. I appreciate it. So I want you watch, you listen, and you decide. Look, and if you know him and you're walking with him today, just look and see if there's any shadow. If you're walking with him in the day outside, they say when bongos walk, there's no shadow. The man have no soul. Because your shadow is your soul, That is a reflection of you on the ground. So that's the beauty about God. God is the creator of all living things. Yes, and it's a reason why you might hear my voice kind of hoarse. And later on I'll explain what happened. So the police, Bongos was under pressure because I'm handlers, and them want him to do things, take care of the criminals them, you understand? And Bongos have been, you run afoul of the law many times, yes. Yeah, so, it is this connection why Bongos, was remain in the police force, because the amount of criminal infraction that Superintendent Daly have survived, it is because of his connection with the PNP LGBTQ plus party, which was in government and nothing else. It's tied to criminals or their associates. Everyone know that Bongos is unknown, is any criminal, from you have money, Bongos and you are a friend. Bongos we all put up all police killer and all them things like that. So Bongos him no core belief, him at the bottom when they come on to not upholding the law for money. Yes, that's the kind of person he is. Harry Bongos is not the kind of police way. So that's the difference between him and Renita Adams. Renita Adams, although he is a PNP LGBTQ plus activist, at least him have a heart. Bongos now have no heart or conscience. Bongos has money. All even soulful people Bongos will take money from. That's how depraved he is as a police officer. And police like that dangerous. And before we even go further, another thing, There's a second police officer now that I learned that Bongo's involved in his killing. He and the guy Power Ranger, but we'll talk about that later. But I'm telling you, these police, I don't know, boy, it just sad rasta how Jamaica, how we have reached this point. You understand? Why, may I tell you? So yeah, so the reason Bongos survive is because I'm criminal ties to the PNP LGBTQ plus party, which was the government at the time. Because most of the things our regular police could not get by the job, but no, I saw it thing going and thing because the people them in Jamaica, when people have higher rank than you in any organization and they tell you to do something, is either you're going to do it or you resign. And most of the time, people just go along because a part of the machine, you understand, the PNP LGBTQ plus machine. So they make sure them stack it everywhere with archive. You have to be a criminal-minded person and commit crimes for the PNP party. For them, you will get any big post in it. Just get posted because you qualify. And that's how it works. You qualify because of crimes that you commit. So that's why Angela Brownberg get a seat in the parliament, because her father had killed Ted Ogilvie, yes, the permanent secretary for the Ministry of Construction. So we know that the criminal, them bribe Arabangas, and that's why he gave them the name of the witnesses, because this man is a man who lack a thing called conscience, decency, honesty, truthfulness, ethics, morality, and the respect for the laws of Jamaica or other jurisdiction, yes. And the reason I say that because I work with Arabangas, Arabangas is not, Arabangas have no loyalty to anyone. The only loyalty Arabangas have is to money and power. No matter how you think that you and Bongo's tight, you are not tight. So as you can look right there now on your LCD to show you that the PNP party is a party that love killers. Opposition leader Mark Boland right there, love killers that he marches with Danville Palmer, who was released from Horizon prison after serving time for killing of another unarmed Jamaican. The PNP LGBTQ plus party is a criminal organization and not a political party. Danville Palmer, is not originally from Jonestown. This man is from Tivoli. This man is a shower posse man. This man is a laborite originally. This is a man who marched in 2010 with Dodo Skoke when he was wanted for extradition, and they're taking him to Fletcher's Dan, and Danville Palmer was the man who killed Mr. Lyons, a man who was sitting in his car beside the Fletcher's Dan police station. This man, Danville Palmer, is the same man who burned down the Annaton police station, and he was in the company of the opposition leader, Mark Boland. So Mark Boland become the Prime Minister. Don't expect to go back to this, the 90s when you get the Klansman gang. More or less now maybe you might get a different gang, because during the 1970s Michael Manley gave us the Hot Stepper gang, that are the gang with copper them. Yeah, so you understand. So police officer superintendent Harry Daly, some people say boy, a lot of people misunderstand him. Yes, but we are saying that it's not misunderstanding. People did not misunderstand Harry Bongo at all, because Harry Bongo's Daly is a man who's corrupt to the core. So Harry Bongos did not misunderstand the laws or the situation. What he did was premeditated, without any second thoughts of his action as a man, an empty shell of a police officer. This man was only police by name but not by his deeds. The reason why we at the Jamaica Young Police Channel knew this information is that the police personnel had the names of the witnesses and their whereabouts, and Harry Bongos was the only person not only suspected of leaking the same, but he's the only person who had connection to the criminal underworld and ties to Andre Blackman Bryan. If you remember that there was a Klansman dance that was being held in Spanish Town after the killing of these people at the Twickenham Park fishing village. If you remember that, and I'm just talking from memory, when the soldiers raided the dance, SSP Newton Amos was the air officer at Area 5, and they did not give Arabangas any heads up that they were going to raid the dance, because the Klansman dance, and he was present, and Arabangas was disarmed by the soldiers and handcuffed. Yes, disarmed, and he was threatened, with death. There's a big bad bongo soldier disarmed him in a dance, and because the soldiers had outnumbered the police officers and the gunmen. So you can look up that if you are able to find it on the internet, because in case you do not know, the Jamaican Gleaner and the Observer, they are good at scrubbing out things that make the political party, the PNP LGBTQ plus party, expose their actions. So you have to pay for it. That's how it is. Nothing is free when it comes on to them, because it's knowledge. They don't make it accessible to the regular people, so you have to pay. So whatever the reason for Arabangas' action, it is illegal for a police officer to give the name of witnesses to a criminal. This is because it put the witnesses at risk of intimidation, of harm, or losing their life. And that is what happened to this man. Arabangas gave Andre Blackman Bryan this man's name, address, and even the man's description. But based on the name, the man he knew who the witness was, because it's his cousin. You understand? And Bongus is the one that did that. And we say that here, we're not saying an allegation, because this come from special branch people who have intimate information. Because special branch people write report. Special branch officers, I don't know, but I heard that they have taken a different oath apart from the oath that we as regular police take on to serve and protect. But I don't know if these police officers sharing information with me, if they are breaking any oath. They say it's work as it's state secret. But these police officers are patriots, because as they have stated, they haven't seen any channel operators. We have fair and unbiased. Yes, we are balanced. We are not on any political agenda for anyone. You understand? We just say it as it is, and we appreciate the information given to us, and we applaud the efforts put out by these members from the special, who used to be at special branch, and we respect them and thanks again. Yeah, so Bongo's action was illegal, to do that. You have to think, you understand? You can't, as police officer, you give criminal the name of witnesses and where them live. That's wrong, man. In some cases, the police can protect the identities of witnesses by giving them pseudonyms or giving their names confidential. However, this is not always possible, and witnesses should be aware of them being exposed, especially in high-profile cases. So this man, that loses his life, if he had known that he would lose his life, because he was given their assurance by the police, because they were going to put certain things in place to move him, but that did not reach that juncture, and he was killed. So as you can see right there now on your LCD, because we're just educating it in various ways, to the right bottom left, that lady in the glasses, her name is Angela Brown. She's a member of parliament. Her father, the late Tony Brown, who was one of Jamaica's most wanted men in the 1980s, her father killed the man above her, Ted Ogilvy, and her reward for her father's criminal act. Yes, yeah, in the PNP party, you can't accent to office unless you have to, it's like a reward system. You understand? And she has been rewarded with a seat in parliament to pass laws against criminals. Can remember that's what lawmakers do. So her father was a lawbreaker, now she's a lawmaker. So who would you believe? Don't wonder why you have murder people commit murder in Jamaica, they get 3 years in prison, because her father was a murderer. You understand? So those are the people that's running our country in Jamaica, criminal-minded people. Yes, and look right there now, that's the man they call Tesha Miller, the one with dreads are in plot of him here, and he's the leader of the Kingsman gang, and the man who gave black man the order to kill Douglas Chambers. Both men are PMP LGBTQ plus supporters and enforcers for the organization hierarchy, the machine. Yes, criminal organization. So whatever the reason is, it is illegal for the police officer to give the names of witnesses to criminal. So right there now we're looking at another, this is Isaac Buchanan, a PMP LGBTQ plus human rights lawyer and a twice convicted court dealer. Yes, he's a convicted court dealer, and the man is now an officer of the court. So he's one step ahead, and the next thing, say a convicted court dealer can be the Chief Justice of Jamaica. That's how it is, you understand? So the Jamaican government knew the former Minister of Government who gave the order to kill Douglas Chambers, but they never questioned him. We will put a face this Sunday. So moving on. The Wandan gang is a notorious criminal organization involving several murders, shooting and drug trafficking. The gang is based in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, but operates in other parts of Jamaica. The murder in Twickenham Park reminds us, that's of the witness, reminds us of the violence still prevalent in Jamaica. The Wandan gang is a dangerous criminal organization and has caused a great deal of harm to the community. The authorities must bring those responsible for these murders to justice. Among the men who participate in the killing is the alleged gang leader of the Wandan faction, of the gang, Andre Blackman Bryan. The trial is presided over by Chief Justice Brian Lego Sykes. Yeah, that's him right there. Boy, may I tell you. Yeah, so Chief Justice Brian Lego Sykes is a PMP, is allegedly a part of the criminal machine in Jamaica, and he owes his seat to Dr. Peter Phillips. Yeah, he owes his seat to Dr. Peter Phillips. And you know that his chair seat is because of his connection to the PMP LGBTQ plus party. The witness says that Blackman Bryan called him and told him, that's a banker talking, told him to inform one of the gang members, a man he called Ray Blacks. So Andre Blackman Bryan, so anybody who black them call him, them give them last name as Blacks. To ready up the dopey chuck. The dopey chuck mean that the chuck where them used to kill people. You understand? So on day 6 of the trial, the banker, he had told the court that the vehicle was so called because every time it drives out, it's either a shooting or a murder. The banker says Brian instructed him and another gang member he called Squeeze Eye to see if they saw the intended targets of that shooting 3 men. He said when he saw them, they told Brian via phone. According to the witness, Brian told them to scout the area, meaning to do recce, you understand, and the area of a police while Ray Blacks and the other gang members came to carry out the shooting. The witness says by the time they start looking for any police officers, the men had already started the shooting. So you see criminals organizing them, are kill people and them have lookout and all them things. So you understand. So he said when they met up later that day, one of the gang members, a man he called Margadog or Margaman, said he had missed his target. The witness said the other gangsters were laughing, but Brian was furious because he wanted those men killed. He says Brian instructed him to pilot Ray Blacks to the lane in Bucktown to hide back the dopey truck. He said he understood that to mean driving in front of Ray Blacks and ensuring no police were present because Brian never wanted the police seizing that vehicle. The witness says he drove Brian Blackman to his home in what he called Uptown. That's Uptown in Uptown Kingston, which by the elite live. A taxi driver. Yeah, so the witness says he was the banker of the gang and Brian's driver. So that's the same man who told us about the police that were coming at tint up vehicle. A taxi driver who worked in the Spanish Town area controlled by clansman gang, just want us at the Jamaica Young Police Channel to know that since Tesha Miller got 35 years imprisonment for killing of Douglas Chambers and Andre Blackman Bryan soon get sentenced, the extortion got no worse than before. The dance them used to collect $1,000 from the coaster buses. Now that the dans are in prison, termite have increased to 2,500 and they are complaining that the cost of living is getting higher. Inflation means that they will have to raise the extortion fee anytime them see it fit because they are the government here. They have fewer murders and now they are having more than double the money to buy guns and bullets to finance themselves and their criminal operations in the presence of the young police officers who don't even do anything because some of them complains that when they are finished working they do not have any guns to protect themselves, so they see and blind, hear and deaf. Now how you have the police are going to work and they must see and blind, hear and deaf? That's not good, man. So these criminals are making up to $250,000 per day from us taximen and bus drivers, and they do not know how much we pay to buy our vehicles, pay insurance, gas, and service the vehicle among other things, and this is what we are dealing with every day. Some of the police are not doing anything about it. The bad man collect money every day, even on a camera the government set up, and they know what's going on in the bus park. The same way in Alpha 3 JUTC bus park collect the cash, or on Mullines Road near Eastwood Park Road, and the police see these men every day and know them. And the shocking part is most of these extortionists and the police are friends. Jamaica is not a safe place. We need police like Moa, Charlie Mendes, Leng, Biggerford, Adams, Punge, Bobby Reds, Idol, Magla, Michi, Tony Fry, Kelso Small, the sheriff, to name a few who like preemptive strikes, cause it save lives and also disrupt the gangs. Please keep my information confidential. Just wanted to know I don't hate the police, but in Jamaica you can't trust some of them because they are working with the criminals most of the time. They are still have a few good ones you can trust. They are located at the Twin Towers. When the police officer trade information to a gang for money, they commit a serious crime. This is called corruption, and it can have a devastating impact on public safety. The consequences of police corruption can include the following. They are endangering the lives of witnesses and informants. When criminals know the identity of witnesses and informants, they are more likely to intimidate, harm, or kill them. This can make it difficult for the police to investigate crimes and bring criminals to justice, undermining public trust in the police. When people believe that the police are corrupt, they are less likely to report crimes or cooperate with investigations. This makes it more difficult for the police to do their job and keep the community safe. It is disrupting the rule of law. When the police break the law, it undermines the rule of law. This means that the people cannot be sure that they will be treated fairly by the police, and it can lead to social unrest. The consequences of police corruption are so serious that it is essential to all police officers who engage in this behavior accountable. The penalties for police corruption varies from country to country, but they typically include jail time. Police officers who are convicted of corruption should be sent to prison. The length of sentence will depend on the severity of the crime. Police officers convicted of corruption will typically be fired from their jobs. This means that they will lose their livelihood and their pension. Civil penalties. Police officers convicted of corruption may also be ordered to pay civil penalties. These penalties can be used to compensate corruption victims or fund law enforcement initiative. In addition to these legal consequences, police officers who engage in corruption may also face social and professional repercussion, receive priority, They may be shunned by their colleagues, lose their friends and family, and have difficulty finding a new job. In Jamaica, when you are corrupt, nobody vex with you and them thing. The people revere, laud you and celebrate you. It's police officer like me, who do not like thieving police officer. I will be one who shunned by their colleagues. Yes. So it's that would be in a different jurisdiction. But in Jamaica, you thief, you say all assistant and deputy commissioner of police, I follow you go to court, you commit corrupt kind of thing. So they man normalize it and I give credence to it, and my friend him can't do anything, so them go to court and march on the court. Police, big wig police. And then after that man get a commissioner of police because them say, well, you're a criminal and them thing. So that's how the system works. So the consequences of corruption, of police corruption, are serious and far-reaching. It is the sentencing, but knowing how Jamaica operate, only the little constables go to prison for corruption, and not the gazetted officers. And it is crucial to all police officers who engage in the behavior to ensure public safety and the rule of law. We, as Jamaicans, are cultured to be criminal-minded, criminal supporters and sympathizers of criminal. It is not a harmful stereotype that perpetuates the idea that Jamaicans are inherently violent and criminal-minded. But this is how the system is designed, from the media houses to our political leaders. Those who want to think that is a stereotype that can lead to discrimination and profiling of Jamaica, both in Jamaica and abroad, is wrong. All we are doing is speaking the truth about our country and its cultures. There is undoubtedly small numbers of Jamaicans involved in criminal activities, but this is the norm. We have seen a twice convicted drug dealer, Isaac Buchanan, being rewarded with a clean police record and now access to the seat of justice as an officer of the court. Can you show me an honest criminal? Yes, show me an honest criminal, because to be an officer of the court, you're supposed to be honest, ethical, decent. So everything in Jamaica, them have broke it down more and more. So it's a criminal paradise. Tell me if it's not a criminal paradise. Or you have a twice convicted drug dealer as a lawyer and an officer of the court. Him can't be honest. So I tell them, I show the people them in Jamaica, say the system is not honest. It's a corrupt system. You understand? So them reward him with a clean police record and no access to the seat of justice as an officer of the court. You understand? A mass majority of Jamaicans are law-abiding citizens who want to live in a safe and prosperous country, but are afraid of the gunmen who are allowed by the government to operate with impunity, as if they have immunity from the laws of Jamaica. There used to be many factors that contribute to crime in Jamaica, including poverty, inequality, lack of opportunity and exposure to violence. But not anymore, because most of these killers and dons are wealthy compared to the others 20 years ago. These factors can lead to a culture of violence and crime, but they do not mean that all Jamaicans are criminals. It is some of them, and it makes the law-abiding citizens look bad. It is important to remember that crime is a complex issue with many contributing factors. It's also essential to challenge a harmful stereotype about Jamaica culture. We must remember that Jamaicans are just as diverse as any other population group. Every country has good and bad people, and Jamaica is no exception. When a young man witnessed the leader of the opposition party, Mark Golding, marching with a known killer, Danville Palmer. Yes, Danville Palmer is a known killer. It sends a message that the party is not serious about crime or violence. It also states that the party is willing to associate with criminals, which can give legitimized criminal activity and make it more difficult to fight crime. So that's why the Klansman gang did survive, and still surviving, because they can't survive without the help by police, and politicians. The message that the leader of the opposition party is sending to the population is that he is not concerned about the rule of law or the safety of the people. He is sending a message that he is willing to do whatever it takes to win, even if it's mean associating with criminals. This message is dangerous and harmful. It sends the message that criminals is acceptable and criminals should not be feared. Wow. So that Mark Golden doing it, and people fear they're criminal them. If you love them and treat them with kids law and sympathize with them, anytime anything happen to you, criminal them. Yes. So what he's doing is desensitizing the populace to accept someone violating their human rights. This can lead to an increase in crime and violence, as well as a decrease in public trust in the government. But the DNA of the PNP LGBTQ plus party, which is a criminal organization and nothing else, because when an official is willing to tell young men to kill a government official, Douglas Chambers, it is because he knows that Jamaica is a criminal's paradise, that he feels and knows that he's going to get away with ordering the killing of a patriot. Leaders must communicate that crime is unacceptable and that criminals will be held accountable for their actions. Leaders should also send a message that they are committed to the rule of law and safety of the Jamaican people. This is the only way to create a safe and just society. Let's work together to create a more just and peaceful society for all Jamaicans, regardless of background and beliefs. We at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, we denounce all those who support criminals, give them comfort, finance, support, enable them, and protect them. We know that Dr. Peter Phillips is the godfather for the Klansman gang, and we know that the Klansman gang strive under the PNP LGBTQ plus party. Yes, and remember, we at the Jamaica Young Police Channel, we're just talking from memory, that when Peter Bunting was Minister of National Security and he went with Owen Ellington to visit De La Vega City, the criminals that lives in that midst were complaining about a police officer by the name of half a dog or something of the sort. And this police officer, from based on information received and obtained, is a very hard-working police officer, and he was transferred from St. Catherine North to St. Catherine South because the criminals at De La Vega City, they did not like him and they fear him, and the minister transferred him as usual. Welcome to the Jamaica criminal's paradise in the Caribbean Sea. Yes, that's what it is and nothing else. What the banker have stated, that the police officer, police in unmarked sports utility vehicle came into Jones Avenue several times, and when they went there, they were doing transactions and stuff like that. That is true. I have no reason to disbelieve the banker because he's coming from the belly of the beast. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.